everybody, I'm Joe Paul and I'm an indie author, and today we're going to be talking about preparing for signings. We have less than a month to go until The Dark Side of Fiction, which is my first signing, and I wanted to do a video with 5 tips or 5 areas in which you should prepare for signings. So here we go. The first area is books, obviously. If you're like me and you're based in the UK, I advise you order as far as in advance as possible, simply because it takes a while for them to get here, and the last thing you want to do is get close to the signing and find that you're low on books. I went for 20 copies of each book just to be covered, and I found that that's mostly about the industry standard depending on where people are coming from. If you get more pre-orders than that, then I'd advise that you order like 10 extra for people who are shopping on the day. I know that's not always possible. There are some people in this signing that are coming from the States and therefore cannot carry that many books. But the organisers have said that they will accept postage and stuff to their addresses to take to the hotel on the day. So make sure you prepare prices and make sure you have the ability to carry a flow in cash, as well as maybe paying into the PayPal app. I found that most people will want to pay in advance, so that works, but also make sure you've got a list of who's paid in advance and which books they wanted. Number 2, in swag. I did all kinds of swag. I have the usual in bookmarks, in postcards and such. I added some pens, some magnets and some badges. I did some VIP swag that has all the above except the magnets and is priced accordingly. As far as pricing goes, I've decided to do the bookmarks and the postcards for free, but have kept to a low price for the other items that aren't going to be the main thing. I also have a special card that allows people to have their thumbprint taken, which I thought would be a special thing to have. On the back of the business card is my details, so that they can have their fingerprint taken away from the convention, and then have something later to keep and all the rest of it. It says, I've been fingerprinted at the Dark Side of Fiction 2017, so that's awesome. Number 3, your banner. Do this in advance. I cannot stress this enough. I recommend Vistaprint, but others are just as good, and it depends on what you're looking for, what the price is, and all the rest of it. I went for them and I had a hell of a time at getting it right, but their customer service is excellent, and because of that I have an awesome banner, and that's why I recommend them. I say in advance because it can be a bit back and forth and to get it right unless you excel at these things, in which case you can leave it to the last minute, but I don't excel at these things, so I wanted to have it done in advance so that if there were mistakes I could correct them and I would have time. Number 4, hotel, travel, etc. Make sure you book a room if you plan to stay way before the event, because they will fill up and you don't want to have to miss out. I'm planning to stay Friday through Monday to give me some spare time to unwind after the signing and to get home, because it's quite a long drive, but you don't have to do it that way. Also make sure your travel plans are in place where we're going by car, because we have a shit ton of stuff to take with us. The hosts of the event, like I said, have said that we can post it to them and they'll bring it, so that's always an option, especially if you're coming out of the country or town or don't have a vehicle, or you're coming by train or something like that. It's going to be hard to tote around boxes of books and stuff. You don't have to stay at the attending hotel, and depending on what your travel arrangements are and depending on what your luggage arrangements are, then there's no need to definitely stay there, but just make sure if you're going to stay you have a room ready. Because the last thing you want is to get close to the event, go to buy a hotel room and find out you can't get one, because that would suck. And number 5, final pieces. Work out your display and make sure you have ways to show off your goodies. I've fretted about this for ages, but I've finally got everything I need. I have stands for both books and some of the swag, and boxes and little goodies to put on my table. I have a ghost and some handcuffs and some police tape, all of that. Another thing I'll say, but that won't always apply to most people, is check things like access. Because of my oxygen, I've spoken to the hotel and have arranged to have an oxygen machine delivered to them. I've also arranged with the organisers that I'm seated by a table so that this can be plugged into the mains. I do have portable canisters, but I wanted to use those for things like driving and the after event in the evening, which is another thing I wanted to mention. Most conventions like this will have an after event. If you're going to go to it, plan it early, because they will fill up, and also it's better to know what your expenses are and all of that. So basically my advice is to plan early, to make sure you have everything you need, and to give yourself as little stress as possible. We are now just under 4 weeks away. By the time this posts, we'll be under 2 weeks away from the dark side of fiction, and I am nervous as anything, but I feel like I'm ready, which is a good way to be. So there we go. So that's all I've got time for today. If you want to get in touch with me, you can just by leaving a comment down below or subscribing to my channel, or you can find me on Facebook, on Tumblr, or Goodreads, or Twitter. My books are available on Amazon ebook and paperback format, and I also have a newsletter. And don't forget to check out the Dark Side of Fiction 2017 event, where I will be signing books in October, which is only like 2 weeks away, so get on it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.